Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Monday, April 11th. So today we're going to continue to have the moon in Leo, trying to keep the vibe high, trying to keep it light and entertaining, playful, if you will. And we do still have to watch for being a little bit extra, a little bit dramatic in expressing ourselves, in trying to have the spotlight and definitely put ourselves out there. The moon in Leo just wants to truly speak from the heart, truly kind of connect on that level, on that intimate level with each other. But we have gone through a lot and we are reaching a boiling point where our truth is coming out, where, the fire energy of Aries season and now the fire energy of this moon in Leo is really lighting a fire within us. We have to be very careful on how we're going to manage that fire and let that fire out. Today we have 10 different aspects taking place here today in the cosmos, and 9 of them involve the moon. The only one that isn't involving the moon is Saturn, which is a pretty big deal. These outer heavy-hitting planets, anytime that they are asking for the spotlight, we definitely feel that. So we are going to be talking about that in just a little bit. But first, we have to talk about the moon trining Chiron. The moon in Leo, trining is a beautiful energy. It's a blending of energy. And with Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries energy, we're definitely making some headway in trying to heal certain aspects of our emotions. The moon in Leo, again, putting us in a position to try and keep things lighthearted, but also speaking from the heart, speaking our truth, expressing oneself. We're definitely understanding where it is that we have made efforts in order to heal some of the wounds that we've accumulated through the tough love life lessons that many of us have been struggling to move through. This Chiron energy, the wounded healer, is definitely showing us where it is that, yes, the wounds are alive and well in order to push us into our strength, into our power, and where it is that we have the wisdom within us. We have the spark, we have the fire, we have the support from the universe in order to go ahead and make a little bit of effort to push ourselves forward and grow through what it is we've been going through. The moon squares Uranus. This is when things get a little bit tense, a little bit confusing, a little bit overwhelming in our heart space and in our head space. Of course, Uranian energy, the great awakener, wants to kind of just download us with a different perspective, an aha moment, a moment of genius where our perspective shifts, our understanding shifts. But that square, that tension point, is creating a little bit of an intensity because we're not on the same page right now. Our heart and our head isn't on the same page. We sure as hell aren't on the same page with our physical body, with our higher selves. And right now, there's a lot of confusion on what it is that we actually want, need, and desire. The moon in Leo is pretty eager to try and keep the vibe high, to keep the energy a little bit more entertaining and playful than what it is that we actually need right now, because what we need right now is to figure out what it is we've been lacking. And in figure out what it is we've been lacking, especially in our personal relationships where we're not feeling safe and secure, that will lead us to what it is that we need more of. Just be careful that you don't get stuck in that scarcity, lack of mindset, because that can become a little bit overwhelming in the heart space, in the head space. And we can act out of ego, adding a little bit of extra drama to the scene that none of us really need at this particular point in time. The moon is going to make a harmonious aspect to both Jupiter and Neptune, who are on their way to meeting up in the cosmos here tomorrow, making their very important conjunction with one another. Again, this is a 12-year cycle meetup, and even more than that, like 160-year meetup. This is something that is a once-in-a-lifetime situation for us to witness and actually go through. These major heavy-hitting planets are definitely bringing a brand new level of spiritual understanding to the collective. We are going to see a ripple effect of another level of awakening, and we are definitely going to be seeing that shift on the greater, grander scale. But the moon right now bumping into Jupiter, who just wants to push us into a new level of growth, a new level of experience, a new level of understanding the tough love life lessons that we've gone through, recognizing that there is a lot more possibilities and opportunities that await us when we get out of our own way. Neptune over here is trying to emphasize where it is that we have to trust our intuition, where it is that we need to take a leap of faith, where it is that we need to be so fixated and aligned with our dreams, with our visions, that we're not going to let our egoic circumstances talk us out of something that feels so right. This point is when Saturn, the Lord of Karma, ruling over systems and foundations and structures and roles and responsibilities, is going to square, come in contact with, create conflict with the true node. The true node, of course, is our soul's destiny point, trying to get us on the right track in order to chase our new passions, our new dreams, our new desires down, and actually become in alignment with the path that is necessary for our soul to reach our fullest potential. This square is a tension point. It's a conflicting point. Why? Because many of us are fighting the opportunity to grow. Many of us are sitting around praying for different circumstances, but not willing to get out of our comfort zones in order to actually make a change. This particular energy is putting the emphasis on where it is that our negative narrative, our negative Nancy narrative, is coming out to play to prevent us from bossing up to the new roles and responsibilities that we have to boss up in order to create a new system, foundation, and structure in our lives to bridge the gap from where it is that we're at to where it is that we know in our soul we need to be. This particular energy is going to put a lot of weight on our shoulders. It might even restrict the way that we're able to think and even able to breathe at this point. Why? Because karmically speaking, we have soul contracts that need to be initiated that many of us are running from. Many of us, again, want change but not willing to get out of our own damn way in order to create it. And that time is coming to pass. We are being forced into new roles, new responsibilities, new soul contracts, whether we like it or not. So again, I'm going to ask you, would you rather roll or do you want to be dragged? The moon is going to go ahead and trine the sun, and this is a beautiful energy harmonizing, blending together our emotions with our will, with our determination. We have a strong desire to express ourselves right now. We want to be free. We want to listen to our higher selves. We want to be kind of liberated from some of the restrictions that our mental plane and our heart space, and mostly our memories attached from the past, have been blocking us from actually moving forward. We have to understand that, you know what, there is beauty in seeing the difference in opinions, especially with our close-knit personal relationships. Of course, yesterday we had this pressurized energy with Pluto and the mental plane really kind of emphasizing where it is that we wanted to push our thoughts, our ideas, our opinions on other people and have them agree. Right now, we're understanding where conflict, where disagreements are actually highlighting for us, where it is that we're not willing to change, where it is that we still have some work to do. This is going to free us up in a lot of ways, giving us a different perspective, a deep psychological understanding in our perspective on where it is that we do have to detach with the old egoic self in order to embody the new self-determination, the self-will that we need to blaze a brand new path forward. The moon squares the true node, though. This puts us in a little bit of conflict because now we don't know what to do with ourselves. The moon in Leo, of course, is trying to keep things light and fluffy, trying to keep things playful and entertaining. But the roles and the responsibilities of the karmic weight of the soul contracts now being put upon us is really kind of ruining that vibe because we are kind of unsure on what it is that we need to do moving forward. The true node, of course, trying to show us the direction that we need to take in order to actually align with our new soul's mission and purpose. We're a little bit confused. We're a little bit bewildered on how it is that we're supposed to detach from our egoic circumstances and really make that leap of faith that the universe is requiring us to make right now. And of course, with this square, with this conflict, with this disagreement within oneself, we are being pressurized to see where it is that we're no longer comfortable in our current circumstances. And of course, when we recognize what it is that we are no longer comfortable with, maybe that is exactly what we need in order to recognize where change is needed the most. The moon is going to go ahead, sit across from, and oppose Saturn. This is where things get a little bit heavy. Saturn always kinds of puts that weight on our shoulders, wants us to boss up to new roles, to new responsibilities. And here's the thing. We can't really live in this playful moment for very much longer. We can't really keep our heads buried in the sand for much longer. We do have to boss up in a lot of ways. And at this particular point in the day, we're starting to realize that we're craving a lot more from our lives than just this shallow, light and fluffy, playful kind of energy. We seek meaning. We seek purpose. We're seeking wisdom. We're kind of bored with our current circumstances. And of course, we're going to recognize where it is that we're needing more stimulation mentally, physically, emotionally, and of course, spiritually. The moon does bump into Jupiter in not the nicest way. This is providing us an activation point, a trigger point in our physical realms in order to recognize where it is that we're now being offered an opportunity to play it safe, to keep our heads buried in the sand, to continue to complain about our lives but not make any changes in order to make any kind of difference, or whether or not we're going to realize that this is a crossroads point, an opportunity for us to grow, an opportunity for us to improve, for us to experiment, to try something new. This is going to really be an overwhelming type of energy. Emotionally, we are feeling very overwhelmed in our head space and in our heart space because part of us wants to stay and complain about this little pity party that we've created, and the other part of us wants to kick this pity party right in its face and actually move on to bigger, brighter, better things. We wrap the day up with the moon bumping into Neptune in not the nicest way, and of course, Jupiter and Neptune sitting very close in the cosmos together, preparing for their perfect aspect here tomorrow. And the moon bumping into Neptune in this way, again, in this opportunity to see where it is that we either are going to escape our physical realms altogether, keep our head buried in the sand, run away from the new soul contracts, the new opportunity to level up, to boss up into new roles and responsibilities, or whether or not we are going to align with our higher selves, know that we have an obligation to our self, to our higher self, to the divine plan to go ahead and move forward, even though it might be scary, even though it might be uncomfortable. It is at this time where we should really be focusing on our dream, on our vision that we actually want to be living, that we actually want to manifest. It will help bring the brand new energy of excitement in while we kind of figure out how to numb the overwhelming emotions of just wanting to run and hide. So we are going to kind of end the day off with an opportunity, especially in our mental plane, looking at the choice points, looking at the opportunities in front of us that they are presenting, the universe, of course, giving us an opportunity to walk the walk and talk the talk.